reporting you had today about the Conservatives rethinking things. They reached out to say this is an inaccurate story, the very premise is wrong. What is your sense of what is happening inside the Conservative tent here?
Well, there are people inside the Conservative Party that are realizing, like you said, that the political landscape is changing. And the ballot box questions that they were trying to frame, which is axe the tax, have a carbon tax election, might not be quite the same right now with what's happening down south, what's happening with the tariffs. And there are people inside the Conservative parties that are thinking that they need to change a little bit the way they're presenting the message and drift a little bit away from the axe the tax or the carbon tax because they're afraid it's not going to resonate as much with the public. But there are some people inside the Conservative Party that says first, we're way too much invested into that message. Second, it's working. It helps us make the affordability crisis message and point in a concise format, and it helps us to take the what they like to call the carbon tax Carney, the carbon tax Christia, and link it to Justin Trudeau's legacy in just one sentence, and it works well for them, and they want to keep that. But it's hard to deny that the Canadian moves has changed, and it's becoming harder for the Conservative Party, or some MPs and some other strategists thinks, that it's harder to say that Canada is broken when there's that upswell of patriotism facing Donald Trump, and they're afraid that if they go too far on that line, it might hurt them a little bit in the polls, although they're still high in the polls, and they still think that they are going to win, but they still think that if they want to maximize their win, maybe they need to adjust a little bit the message.
Right. You look at the polling, and look, there is volatility, especially in Ontario and Atlantic Canada. I'm not sure where that's going to land in these turbulent times. It's not a wholesale abandonment of what they've been doing. It's more of a recalibration, it seems. And you say they're doing like internal surveys. I mean, they're doing polling on this to see where the Canadian voters are on it?
They're trying to understand where the mood is at, how to change the message. They're doing some polling to understand a little bit better how to face their new opponent as well. They're completely convinced, all the Conservatives I've spoken with are convinced that Mark Carney is going to be the next leader of the Liberal Party. I think the 400,000 Liberal sympathizers that I've signed are going to be the one who are going to decide that, but they're preparing to fight Mark Carney.